Hi, welcome to the pre-show of Anime Otaku Show, everybody.
Hello.
Pardon me while I get stuff set up. You can hear noises and such and things.
We pre-show with the stuff and the things. And the cookies, because there's always cookies.
Hey, there's a Josh. Hi, Josh. Bye, Josh.
Well, he literally just got home. He hasn't even had the chance to even consider food.
Ah, nope, damn it. It's not the image that I wanted to put up yet. Oh, those are hard coded in there. Oh, balls. Okay.
Yo.
Yo.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Well, just nope.
Yeah.
That's important to know.
Oh.
Weird Al changed.
Oh, yeah, that is important to know.
Wednesday, June 5th, 8 to 9, or 8 to 10, excuse me.
Okay.
Alright. Got you two there. Get rid of the Justin nameplate.
Hmm.
Eh.
Is OBS jumping out at you?
Yeah. I just clicked in the wrong spot on a hidden thing, and it's like, nope, we're just gonna use this anyway.
Okay.
All of this, only this.
It's like, I don't want you to use that. Thank you. All right. So, shuka.
Pringles.
Once you pop, you can't stop, or something.
Well, something to keep my blood sugar from crashing until I can get actual food in me.
That is fair. That is fair indeed. All right, so there's that, and that's. All right. And then. Boop. All right.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media.
Cool. Awesome. Sweet. All right, I'm going to step away for a couple of seconds. I will be right back.
Okay.
My poor dogs are stoned as foretold.
Oh, did they get the snip today?
Yep.
Are you on camera?
I am not on camera.
Oh, I was gonna take the camera and show Tuxie because
Hang
he
on.
never sits like this.
See if I can do this real quick. Just throw
Greg,
my...
you're on stream.
I am on stream, I'm just not on camera. Display capture? No. No, video capture device. That's what I'm looking for.
Hi, Coco. You're so stoned. Both of you are so stoned.
And there we go. Hi, this is Producer Camp. See this?
Let me fix your fabulous little
See
dress.
the stoned wiggle noodles.
The
they are
cone of shame.
they are very not wiggly right now.
They are just staring straight ahead, wagging their tails.
Jeez, Tux.
Coco, leave his dick alone.
Tux is trying. He's failing, but he's trying to remain as.
Coco was so like, duh. And Tux is now getting to that point, but watch.
Watch as Rachel breaks things.
That was the hairspray.
No.
You get them chipped while they were under, or were they already chipped?
I haven't chipped them yet. It's expensive right now. It was either get them chipped or get them fixed. I will get them chipped here as soon as they recover from this to be able to get another surgery in them. Surgery, quote, quote. Something implanted into their bodies.
Look it, I'm getting followed.
Yes.
Hi.
And I'm being a good producer and drinking on the job. Starcut Cider's Mosa, hard cider fermented with Michigan apples blended with orange juice.
Okay, then.
It is strictly okay. I went to go pick up key lime cider and they were out of key lime cider, so I was like, now I feel awkward being in here without buying anything. So I'm gonna buy this. Mini cheesecakes.
Barramundi. We've eaten barramundi.
Yes, barramundi is good stuff. Boop. The CJ cam disappeared. Do I need to put the CJ cam back on?
No.
Okay.
Unless you want to share pictures of your glorious cheesecake.
Yeah, Rachel wanted. We left Pokemon. We left the Detective Pikachu, and Rachel's like, I want cheesecake. I'm like, it's Mother's Day. You can have whatever the hell you want.
That is fair.
Good movie, by the way.
It is. It is very adorable. It's not groundbreaking, but I went into that movie with zero expectations and exceeded every single one of them.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, of all the things that they actually like, of all the bad live action westernized adaptations we've gotten, I was not expecting a Ryan Reynolds Pokemon movie to be the one that got it right.
Right? What is even up with that? Like,
Pikachu being fucking adorable.
yes. I think it's just the fact that there was actual care put into it, and it's very obvious that there was care put into it. Mm-hmm. It was very adorable. It was super sweet. Though it is very obviously a child's movie. So I'm like, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and all of those things happened.
I'm just happy with the fact that it was not Gen 1 only.
Yeah, no, it was everybody. Like,
That go lurk in the background.
yeah, I love the Go Lurk. I wanted to see more Greninja because I freaking love the way the Greninja looks.
The I think the things that I was most pleasantly surprised with was the Loudred beatboxers.
Yes! Oh my
That's amazing.
god, the Loud Red beatboxers was so fucking cool. And the cool thing is even when this thing happened that I'm not going to spoil, that didn't end. It just the bass dropped. And just like it continued on, and it was still in canon what was going on. I'm like, oh, that is freaking amazing. Also, if Bulbasaur always looked like that, I would never not pick up Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur's best boy, just saying.
In this movie, yes.
Also reference to the Squirtle Squad.
I must have missed that one. Was one of them wearing sunglasses?
No, it was early in the movie when the news clip was talking about how the firefighters couldn't imagine doing their job without their Squirtle partners.
Ah. Nice.
And they showed a brief clip of a team of firefighters with a team of, like, I think it was specifically 5 Squirtles.
Nice. I did squeal out loud at the Growlithe, though. Like, I squealed like a teenage girl at the Growlithe. Rachel did the same at Trico. She's apparently in absolute love with Trico. Oh, good.
It's awesome how they actually captured the spirit of what a lot of this stuff would look like in real life.
Yeah. It was so well, like, hey, defective Pikachu, take a look at what happens when you actually care about characters.
Right? And speaking of characters, the amount of emotion they put into that Pikachu model.
Oh, yeah. I did kind of want I would have loved to have seen a Pikachu versus Eevee showdown there, like when the stuff at the end was happening, like a Eevee balloon coming up and Pikachu being very aggressive towards it.
Though Pikachu destroying his own balloon was pretty great.
I'm surprised there was not a Ryan Reynolds snark quote in there.
Right.
That would have been great. It is. I'm not sure how much was involved in. Like, I wonder how much of him was actually scripted, because I know a bunch of him was ad-libbed. Like, they just kind of let him go. And I'm wondering how much. Yeah, apparently Rachel read somewhere that the whole scene with the mime was ad-libbed.
I can believe that.
Definitely.
He apparently took a dozen and a half takes and he kept changing it.
I want to see all of those takes.
Right? I do want the rated R Detective Pikachu to come out. I know it won't, but man, I would love to see that.
I'm sure a lot of adult Pokemon fans would.
Oh, yeah.
There's just too much of a problem with the child fan base and Nintendo being very protective of their image.
Yeah. There's no way that Nintendo would allow that to go through. The one thing, my wish list for this movie would have been, you have Bill Nighy and Ken Watanabe in the movie, and you do not allow them in the same scene to allow them to chew the shit out of every single piece of scenery in the area.
Yeah.
That is a sin for this movie, man. You have two of the most scene-chewy people that are still good at their jobs, and you don't let them in the same scene.
The pacing was really tight, so that was probably on purpose.
Yeah, it had to have been. But it still makes me say it.
It was only an hour-long movie.
Yeah. Took Grayson to it, and he slept through the entire thing.
Nice.
Then again, he slept and fed through all of Endgame, too, so there's that. That kid sleeps like a freaking angel during the movies. We were very concerned with it. We had when we went to Endgame, we had a small army of stuff to occupy him with, and didn't need any of it.
Nice.
Very cool.
Boobs! All right, I'm gonna hide my camera. Go away, me. Go away, me. Good. Go away, me. Thank you. I'm going to remove the pre-show. Boop. I'm going to begin actual recording. Come on. You can do it. I have faith in you. Burr, 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 burr. All right, you two, make some noise.
I'm doing the talking thing. Talking.
Also doing the talking thing, words and stuff and words and things.
Cool. All right. Then, ladies and gentlemen, ladles and jelly spoons, let's begin this thing in a 3, a 2, a 1.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geek.io.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek.io holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors on leave. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
Now for a lesson.
Konbanwa, Anime Otaku Show e yokoso. Good evening. Welcome to the Anime Otaku Show.
You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean.
Remember, we will be discussing all episodes up to the ones we talk about tonight. Anata go Sopora o Kinishi Nanara Soyo. If you don't mind spoilers, welcome.
Go beyond! Plus!
Yeah. Glory to the Hypnotoad. Hi. Konbanwa, minasan. This is the Anime Otaku Show, episode number 41. And surprise, I am your host, Josh, me, my other self, and not Irene McGrath. And joining me in the magical worlds of anime are tonight, one night only, Carrie. I'm floundering terribly on a nickname, Wilcox. And that's it. Just us. 2 is the loneliest number. And, oh yeah, CJ's here doing the chair thing. Hi, CJ.
Hello.
And, yeah. A little bit of a different roster tonight from usual, as you may have noticed. But we're still going to do our thing. And speaking of doing our thing, what might tonight's shows be?
Tonight we are going over Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Season 1, Episode 5, My Own Steel, and Season 1, Episode 6, Swordsman Accompanying a Demon. Also doing Fruits Basket, Season 1, Episode 5, I've Been Fooling Myself, and Season 1, Episode 6, Perhaps We Should Invite Ourselves Over. And that One Punch Man, Season 2, Episode 4, The Metal Bat, and Episode 5, The Martial Arts Tournament. Their weird-ass fucking numbering schemes that Hulu does. Also, for this week, we are trying out Senko the Helpful Fox, Season 1, Episode 1 through 3. I'm going to pamper him to his heart content. Don't be shy now, and as long as you're happy.
Indeed. And before we get into any of this stuff, for you podcast listeners, we're going to have a brief break for a few advertisements from the people who put money on our pockets. I mean, our lovely sponsors. See you in a few. And for those of you who are listening to us live, hi, we're still here. You guys go and get ads. If you'd like an ad-free experience, you can do so by going over to patreon.com/geekio. For as little as $1 a month, you too can enjoy the ad-free master feed. If you haven't already, go see Detective Pikachu. Really good movie.
Right?
Tying in that
Tangentially related.
pre-show there.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's related.
It's related. It's anime.
It is.
Or was anime.
Anime adjacent.
Yeah.
It's an anime adaptation. It counts.
Similar to, but legally distinct from.
I mean, legally tied to. So yeah.
Merchandising.
Are we back or still break gabbing?
I mean, break gabbing lasts as long as we want to break gab, so.
Yeah, I mean, this is on you guys. I'm just going to mute my microphone when you guys are ready to get back to the show.
I suppose we'll cut them some slack and not kill them to death with ads this time around. So we're going back in the deep dive in a 3, a 2, a 1. And welcome back. Remember, you can support the stream and everything we do over at patreon.com/geekio to get that ad-free master feed. So, Carrie, lady's choice. Do you want to just go straight down the list, or you want to start with something specific tonight?
Let's go straight down the list because I feel like we've got some shit to talk about with that that list topper there. I promise I can speak tonight.
Oh, you mean that Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh yes, this is our star of the season, you guys. I thought it was gonna be One Punch Man, and then Justin did the whole Bill Wirtz try it. And that is, just, you need to watch this show. I don't know why you're listening to us if you still haven't watched it, but you need to go watch this show.
It's real good.
So in season 1, episode 5, My Own Steel, we get to see the fallout from the final selection. Tanjiro finally makes it through, along with, what was it, 4 other people?
4 other people.
Out of the, dozens who were sent?
I think it was something like 16, but still.
Yeah, that's still a quarter of the people who were sent. And only one of them that we know of fell to the big guy before Tanjiro took it out. Which means the rest of them either fell to random ass demons or escaped through the Wisteria forest and were never seen again. Would hope that it's the latter, but knowing this show, it is probably the former.
Probably the former. Hey man, demons gotta eat. Just so happens that people are delicious.
You would know this how?
Moving on.
Indeed. So yeah, Tanjiro finally makes it through 7 days in a forest with a bunch of demons who are out to get him and constantly strengthening themselves by eating his test mates. And he makes it out and gets the rundown on what's going to happen next. Here's your rank. We're going to give you your uniforms. And one guy in particular is real damn eager to get his hands on that sword.
Surprise! You don't get a sword right off the bat. No. First, you gotta pick a rock.
Yep, you get your sword. You gotta pick the ore for it, and they don't tell you shit about how to pick it. They just hand you a bunch of rocks and say, here you go, grab one. But of course, Tanjiro, being Tanjiro, uses his nose to sniff out the best rock. And so there's going to be something special with that, I'm pretty sure. Where it'll turn out that he has the best of the swords because he was able to pick the best ore or whatever. But either way, he picks the one that called to him, and that's the important part.
And yeah, they also get crows.
Yes. I'm sad, so he got assigned his crow, and then they immediately just flew off, and you hardly ever see them at all.
Except for Lightning Blonde Boy, who got a sparrow, apparently.
It was so cute. I love his little sparrow. And Sasuke, not Sasuke Scarface, was real damn pissed about that bird.
Look, man, crows killed his parents.
I thought demons killed his parents, probably.
Demons, crows, older brother, you know.
Demon crows.
Those Sasuke types.
God. And I bet you that's exactly what he is he's a Sasuke type.
Although personality-wise, he's a lot more Bakugo.
More like if Bakugo and Sasuke did the fusion dance, because he's definitely got the whole dead family angst going on.
But he's also very shouty and angry about everything.
And really wants that damn sword.
Too bad. Pick an ore. See you later, losers.
Pretty much. And yeah, so we also get to see the guy who makes the sword, who, go figure, only travels by daylight because you don't want demons getting anywhere near that guy. And
yeah,
he wears a creepy ass clown mask that's better than Western clowns, but still a clown. Yeah, that face was something else.
Visual bits on an audio podcast.
I do like the kind of fake out there where the swordsmith is building up to, oh, you're a redheaded child of a family that works with fire. I bet you're gonna have the super special red sword. that marks you as super special dude. And then he draws the blade and it turns black.
Yeah, because apparently this super special metal that can absorb sunlight, which makes sense as to why it's the only type of sword that can kill a demon, because we've seen what sunlight does to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently the color matters, and his turned black.
Which no one knows much about for reasons that get explained in the next episode.
But really, theoretically speaking, just going into color spectrum, if the whole point of the sword is to absorb sunlight, then wouldn't the black sword be the best one because black will absorb the most wavelengths?
It depends on whether you're going pigment or light. Because light, black is the absence of color, and in pigment, black is the presence of all color.
We color theory in an anime.
I mean, if we're going by let's see, if we're going by absorption, I would guess we're talking about pigment, but that's just me guessing rather than actually having any concrete evidence in one way or another. But yeah, I wonder what color sword totally not a demon hunter dad had.
Yeah, Dad. Dad.
Since we do know, because I know it was mentioned on this show that he's probably not, somebody mentioned, oh yeah, he's probably not his dad's biological son, except they actually showed a little bit of the dad, slightly more of the side of his face than normal. And Tanjiro's definitely got dad's hair color and hairstyle, so he's definitely biologically a member of that family.
And his earrings.
Yeah. Hair color, hairstyle, earrings, affinity for fire, even though he uses water. And at the end of the episode, he finally gets his first mission.
Girls have been going missing. Get your ass out there and find the cause.
I also like how, I guess if you're lower ranked, you don't get to use your own birds to send messages because that bird just shows up. Like, it's his bird, so far as we know. It's implied to be his bird anyway. Shows up, gives him his mission, and then fucks off to nowhere.
As a bird is prone to doing.
Like, no sending a message asking for intel on the town, what have you. Just go here, okay, bye, whatever.
Pretty much.
And that leaves us to episode 6, Swordsman Accompanying a Demon. Nezuko has a box now.
It's a good box.
It's a very lightweight box, and apparently she can shrink herself really small.
Because apparently, sometimes you do put baby back in the box. In the corner. With the bunny.
I just wonder if that thing is that airtight that it blocks out all light. Does she need to breathe as a demon? Because it doesn't seem like it's very well ventilated.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, but yeah, Orokodaki was very specific about the fact that they used a very lightweight wood and then used rock lacquer to make it extra durable. I don't know what rock lacquer is, but apparently I want it on everything that's made of wood.
Apparently. Also, that guy is real good at a lot of shit, but that's what happens when you've been around since the Edo period and it's now the Taisho era.
He been around a bit.
A little bit. So we finally get to the town. We get to see Tanjiro in his Demon Slayer uniform, finally, because we've seen him in the opening and the ending wearing this since the very beginning. And he finally gets to dress up in it. Head out. We learn that it's got some pretty neat properties. Weaker demons can't tear it. So slightly protective, can't get gnawed on quite as easily. And off to the town where this poor kid, whose girlfriend vanished right from right beside him, is wandering around like a zombie.
He's seen some shit, or rather, hasn't seen some shit.
Yeah, both. And her family totally beat the shit out of him for losing her.
Assholes.
I mean, okay, to be fair, if it were your daughter and she went on a date with a boy, or anybody really, but they're a straight couple, so we're gonna stick with that. She went on a date. The kid comes back without her and says, "Sorry, she vanished from right next to me."
Well, where the fuck is she?
Exactly. Like, CJ, I don't know if you want to weigh in from a chair, but can you imagine if some asshole teenager came home without Kiara? What would you do?
Yeah, that kid's not gonna go very far, very fast.
Yeah,
I mean, you might go pretty far depending on how late he is.
And I am a pacifist.
so yeah. Understandable reaction, like sucks to be that kid, but also if I were that daughter's parents, I cannot say that I would not do the same thing. But hey, it gives us a witness, it gives us a lead for Tanjiro, who picks it up and immediately starts smelling the ground in front of this kid. And then in front of the rest of the town. Because why not? Let's just smell the ground. Which, of course, we know what he's doing, but I like watching the images of all the random people in the background, like, just kind of freaking out as to what he's doing. But it gives him a good lead, and the kid is actually pretty smart. Like, he sees Tanjiro putting together clues and realizes, hey, wait a second. I think I know who this guy is and what he's about. And yeah, and that leads us to the awesome fight scene we got.
Oh boy, the fight choreography in this is real good, guys.
Yeah, it is. Holy crap. Watching him spin and jump and dodge out of the way was really fucking cool.
Primarily based on sense of smell.
Yeah. Yeah, because he can't see them. They're in the fucking shadow realm. And so he has no idea where they're going to come out from and has to rely on the sense of smell that he honed on Urokodaki's Death Mountain.
Watch out for the falling boulders.
I mean,
Maybe try equipping a metal shield.
nah, turtling won't do you any good. They come out of the ground like fucking Mr. fucking Shadow Hand.
Oh man. So yeah, we find the culprit here, except it's not just one culprit, but apparently is the same culprit because somehow or another this particular demon managed to split itself into three.
Probably those shadow arts that Urokodaki was talking about.
Quite possibly, but it's a very interesting set of divisions because of the two that have vocalized much at all, you have two very different personality aspects.
I mean, three, because you've got the more in control one, you've got the fiery, impatient hothead, and then you've got grindy McTeethface.
Grindy McTeethface. That sound.
Yeah, that reminds me of like a Pokemon using Screech or something, to be perfectly honest.
Probably. Would not surprise me. But yeah, this one demon is now three demons, marked by the number of horns on their heads, because Japan, why the fuck not?
It makes sense.
And they can all do this ridiculous shadow merge thing of ultimate ridiculousness. And Tanjiro's having a little bit of a hard time fighting these guys solo.
Go figure.
And then, out of nowhere, a boot to the head.
Straight out of the door.
Which, again, brings us back to the point of whatever this rock lacquer stuff is, I want it on everything. Because if it can stand up to the force of a demon kicking it open.
Mm-hmm. Straight out of Boxton.
Yes. Straight out of Boxton. And great little bit of slight comedic timing, but also showing that this demon is stronger than the first one they fought. This demon's head did not go flying when Nezuko kicked it. It spun around like goddamn Beetlejuice.
Several times.
Several full rotations.
To the point that when he unraveled it, he like had to spin it around a bunch, and you just kind of sit there watching, like, okay, how long is this gonna last? And it turns out that Urokodaki, for all he was super hard on Tanjiro, and rightfully so for walking around with a demon, decided to help them out a little bit. To help not only Tanjiro, but to help Nezuko as well. By using hypnotic suggestion on her. All humans are your family. Protect humans. Never forgive a demon who hurts humans. All demons are the enemy. I got that out of order, but whatever.
I mean, it's the same regardless of the order you put it in, but this is not only fantastic because it means we're probably going to at least quasi-regularly see box extraction, which, fantastic. It's nice that she's not just damsel in distress fodder.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is probably going to bite them in the ass at some point.
Probably.
And it'll be interesting to see how the series handles it when it does.
Yep. Though at least she hasn't fought her bamboo pacifier so far.
Right. Oh, the bamboo pacifier. We also learned something else important this episode.
What's that?
Apparently, there's only one demon out there that can turn other people into demons with its blood.
Yep.
And that's the first demon. Michael Jackson. I mean,
he's very into a certain aesthetic. We've been seeing him in the opening for quite some time now. It's the Michael Jackson looking motherfucker.
There we go. Actually, unmute when I tell you to unmute. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. Apparently, despite the fact that this is a 1,000-year-old demon, he likes to wander around in suits and a fedora. Sure. I'm not going to knock the fashion sense.
Maybe he can time travel. I mean, so this is World War I era. I'm not sure when fedoras and trilbies came into fashion, but suits are around, just not really in Japan. So depending on how worldly this demon is, or if he's been to the parts of Japan that are currently trading with the outside world, he would have seen suits at some point. Because even Tanjiro's Demon Slayer uniform, even though we associate that high collar style with Japanese high school boys' uniforms, that was originally based on Western military uniforms. So even his uniform is westernized, just less so.
Yeah, it's just, even though we've seen like the power lines and everything around, it creates an interesting dichotomy of, here's your potential big bad of the series, the first demon from over 1,000 years ago in his smartly tailored suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that you do see that a lot in anime where the bad guys have all the shiny new stuff. And the good guys are the scrappy underdogs, the old school, the traditionalists. And especially in this time period in Japan where the West was a relatively new thing and not everything coming from the West was a good thing. Because, yeah, the West brought electricity and clocks and shit. They also brought opium and guns.
And we get into that in Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, we do. So, yeah, Westernization is a very complicated subject. And that has always been Japan in modern pop culture, is the land of old and new. So it's an interesting dichotomy to see it portrayed that way. Side note, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with your statement, but go ahead with your side note.
Side note, I really want to see when they pose as a team because shit just got real. Because we know from the ending it's going to happen eventually.
I'm still upset that we are what now 6 episodes in and we haven't seen more than opening ending glimpses of Boarhead Man. I want Boarhead Man in my life already.
I want to get to know not Kaminari more.
Yeah, the Lightning Kid.
Yeah, Lightning Sparrow.
And Butterfly Girl seems pretty interesting in the fact that she did fuck all of nothing at the rock picking ceremony. She was just kind of there with her butterfly and completely spaced out.
Yeah, hopefully she is not token girl fodder.
No, she's probably the token. Oh God, she's actually taking things seriously. Run, because keep in mind she survived.
Yeah. That hasn't stopped other mangaka from taking previously strong characters and turning them into token girl fodder, though. So,
This is true, but there's always been more of a
Twin Star
nod.
Exorcists. Sorry, go continue what you were
It sounded
saying.
like you had some bullshit caught in your throat there. It's okay. It happens. Yeah, I mean, literally, we know less about her than anyone else who survived that selection process, so. Because at least we know yellow-haired kid is an import, some foreigner's son, and apparently super paranoid about things and obviously going to have lightning powers based on his opening bits. Some kind of rivalry situation with Boarhead Kid, which, again, win and need Boarhead Kid in my life. And then you got Shouty McShoutface, who is shouty and angry about everything, but he wants his sword. So yeah, her, we know nothing about other than she apparently likes butterflies.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
Indeed. Oh, yeah, and Tanjiro's black sword apparently means that he likely won't get too far, so we'll see.
Supposedly.
So yeah, we have I think we should probably move on to the next on the list of fruits basket.
Getting fruity with the basket.
I'm curious to see how you're enjoying it so far, because I know that the beginning of it wasn't really your cup of tea.
This show is just. It's not generally my thing. I don't go for the super sappy, romantic, ridiculous sparkle explosions. But when the completely ridiculous bullshit out of left field stuff happens, like for whatever random reason, the stick figure Shoryuken on the roof,
Yes.
there was no reason whatsoever for it to be a pair of stick figures. Everything else in that scene was perfectly animated just fine. The fact that they decided to go with stick figures, sure. That made me chuckle. I appreciated it. The two best characters in this series are still the two best friends.
They are
I
amazing.
don't care. I will watch it for them.
Yeah. And honestly, like it is sappy as fuck. It is an absolutely ridiculous premise. This protagonist is pretty much too good of a person to actually exist. But I am so hardcore nostalgic for this show because my aunt and I read the manga together as the volumes were coming out. And there is some legitimately good characterization in this show. Once it actually starts going, yeah, it still has the shoujo manga corniness, but there is stuff to love in here, and I'm glad that you're not actively hating it because that would make me sad.
I mean, There are people I hate in the show.
Yeah. Oh, and you're going to
Because-
hate them even more when you get to some of the stuff the original anime didn't cover.
Yeah, can't wait. But yeah, I'm not crazy about the Fangirl Club because fuck those bitches. I'm not crazy about Bunny Boy because borderline trap character.
Yeah, he was tolerable in the he was okay, tolerable in the manga at the beginning and then likable as he grew as a person, primarily because with the hyperactive, like super overly cute characters, I tend to not like them in anime because their voices annoy me. Like just that vocal stereotype annoys me, which is ironic given that I'm playing one on Exploding Dice, but whatever. um but yeah. But there is legitimate growth there. The Prince Yuki fan club, they exist to be butt monkeys, at least. They are not supposed to be taken seriously.
Kill them with fire. Let God sort them out. I mean,
No, see what you do. What you do is you get Toru onto another continent and then tell them that she lives with him. And just
and
watch
them all drown in the ocean trying to get to her. I don't know.
watch them self-detonate.
Oh, it'd be like that scene from The Kingsman.
Yeah, their brains
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
they just can't handle it though. Okay, that would have been a good nickname. I just live with him.
Fuck her immediate family.
Yeah, Toru's family. So yeah, in I'm Fooling Myself, we should probably actually talk about the stuff that happened this episode. Um, Toru's grandfather's renovations are quote unquote done, which means they're not done at all. The interior of the house is finished, but they're still working on the outside, so it's going to be noisy and messy as fuck, yet you need to come back and live with us now for whatever reason. So she moves back. She leaves her grandpa's address with Shigure and the boys and moves back because that's what she was told to do. She does what she's told. And we get to meet her father's family. This is her dad's father and dad's either sister or sister-in-law and her kids who are there in the house right now. Teenage cousin is okay. Like, she's probably the least offensive of the younger generation. She's not great, but she's at least pretending to get along somewhat. Teenage cousin male is a little shit who decides to be a fucking perv about everything. Their mother is a piece of garbage who insinuates all kinds of horrible things about Toru and the Somas and basically gives her the get in line speech until Grandpa slaps the ever-loving shit out of her.
I love Grandpa.
Grandpa has dementia. He keeps calling Toru Kyoko, which is her mother's name. He keeps mistaking her for his daughter-in-law because he thinks that is the age that everyone should be at. Spoiler alert, Toru's mom married into the family really young. He doesn't understand that this is his granddaughter. He thinks that this is his daughter-in-law. And he still gives her my family are a bunch of little shits. I choose to love them anyway, but you don't have to put up with this.
If you would rather be somewhere else, go.
And then we flash backwards a little bit to Kyo and Yuki having an angst off in Shigure's living room.
Extreme angst off. Jesus Christ.
Because, as you may have been able to surmise from the flashbacks that we've seen so far, neither Yuki nor Kyo had very healthy upbringings. They were both stifled and suppressed as children for various reasons, and therefore neither one of them knows how to comprehend, compute, verbalize, or in any way, shape, or form express or handle these strange human sensations known as emotions. Having feelings is a completely foreign concept to them. And so they don't know how to just say, I miss her. Or, hey, how do you feel about this? Hey, we should go get her. Instead, Yuki just decides, I'm going on a walk, grabs the paper and leaves. Kyo decides, hey, I'm going on a walk. Fuck, where'd that paper go?
Bitch boy took it. I mean,
And we start to see Shigure meddling a little bit more with poking them towards her. Because that's what Shigure does. He is a shit stirrer to the nth degree. He is,
yeah, that agent of chaos.
yeah, oh yeah. Orochimaru likes to watch the windmills. Shigure likes to grab the windmill propeller and spin it as hard as he can, like the fucking Wheel of Fortune.
Big money, big money, big money.
I mean, that's him.
You're not wrong.
And so they finally catch up to each other. We actually get to see the first time that Yuki and Kyo, number one, agree on something, which is that Toru needs to come back. And number two, cooperate on something, which is getting her back. These two boys who have been raised, and they are the same age, they have been raised constantly comparing themselves to each other, raised to consider each other enemies pretty much because of the zodiac politics. And they finally find something more important. Something more important than their bullshit war.
Girls. I mean, a friend.
But when is she gonna fly off and be a good dragon? Oh, you'll meet the dragon.
Dragon. I mean,
Anyways, and yeah, they finally get to the house. And instead of like normal people knocking on the door, they decide to creep around to the back of the house and listen in at the window until they find the perfect moment, which is Toru finally giving in to the you don't have to put up with this shit, admitting she wants to come home. And then they burst in through the window like the fucking Kool-Aid man, except Japanese style because they opened the window instead of breaking it.
well, no, Yuki just lets himself in. Kyo's the one who almost Kool-Aid mans through the door.
He almost Kool-Aid man's in through the window, but Yuki opens it first before they get to that point. And then they get to make their shoujo manga hero entrance with the I want to go home, then let's go home. Which is corny as fuck, but I love that about shoujo manga. You know, as much as, you know, we love the big epic moments in shonen bullshit, right? The power of friendship, United States of Smash, you know, Kirishima reaching out his hand and Bakugo taking it. This is that for shoujo manga.
Happy fluffy ice cream fun time.
And yes, it takes a different form, but for those who like it, it's just as fun.
Understandable.
And yes, we know it is cheesy and ridiculous and over the top, and we like it that way.
Shoujo moe bullshit indeed, CJ.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And that's why shoujo fans watch/read shoujo. We know it is ridiculous. That is the point.
It's all about that fantasy, yo.
And so they finally get to go home, and then the next episode comes along where Uo and Hana finally realize / learn because Toru lets slip that she's been living with a bunch of boys.
Oh my.
It was never explained in the anime why Hana was wearing the witch outfit during the onigiri stand. I'm pretty sure she was doing some kind of fortune reading thing with her waves.
I mean, let's be fair, she doesn't need a reason.
She doesn't need a reason, but I think she actually did have a reason for wearing that. But she is beautiful the way she is. I do love her super fancy long ass black ruffly nightgown that she wears.
Because, spoiler alert, we should invite ourselves over, but not immediately. Go to the next date, because otherwise they're not going to have snacks ready.
But no, we need to strike while the iron is hot, otherwise we'll miss our opportunity. Toru, we're spending the night.
And, yeah, very odd sequence of scenes unfold, because it's practically like sort of lesbian mom duo.
A little bit. A little bit. So for a while,
Don't hurt our precious baby girl, but you guys are okay, so we'll let her stay with you.
pretty much. I mean, so this is kind of the beginning of Yuki and Kyo learning how to make friends. Because Toru doesn't count. Toru is family. Toru is love. Toru is life, according to them. But here's just these random ass girls that invite themselves over to their house, and suddenly they have to coexist with them. And you get to see a little bit more about their personalities because they're wearing their normal clothes. Coming in at no one's surprise, Hana is goth as fuck, and Uo is a Yankee. That was a Yankee coat she was wearing.
And she coordinated her nails with,
Of
which was a
course she
nice
did.
touch.
Of fucking course she did. And bleaches her hair. That is canon. That is not anime hair bullshit. Her hair is blonde because she bleaches it. Because again, Yankee.
And she gets into a fight with Catboy over it. Because
Yep.
what bottle do you get hair color from? This is my natural hair color, bitch.
And she does not. She either does not believe him, is super jealous of him, or both. Because yeah,
Yes, the answer is yes.
again with the shoujo or the anime hair bullshit, Yo's hair is fucking orange. It is orange tabby orange. Go figure. He's the cat.
Yeah, to the point that she even calls him Carrot. You know, like Kakarato. No, Broly, calm down. Calm down.
Wrong Broly. That's the good Broly.
Best Broly. Broly is a good boy.
He is the goodest boy. And yeah, so Shigure, being Shigure, gets a call, has to leave, or gets a call, air quotes for audio listeners, has to leave, and leaves the kids to their own devices. And surprisingly, so we get to see some character growth here because Yuki and Kyo don't break his house. They are left unsupervised, and from the TV to the shoji screens, nothing has to get replaced.
Nobody dies.
And they get to play Rich Man, Poor Man, which was promised in the previous episode. Which is some kind of Uno-like card game, I think. I'm not really sure on the rules of it, but the point is to get rid of all your cards, basically. Yeah, Rich Man, Pay Off, exactly. And we get to see a little bit of Shigure's soft side, because he went out and bought the most princess-tastic fucking fluffy monstrosity of a bed that he could possibly find for Toru. Big enough to fit 3 people comfortably in it. That was probably a king-size bed.
Because their precious little snowflake deserves every penny of it.
Pretty much.
Or
I mean,
something.
they call him a doting grandfather in the sequence where they're seeing her room for the first time, and that's pretty much it. Shigure, in many ways, is simultaneously an old man and a young man in a young man's body.
You got that dad soul.
Oh yeah. Again, dog.
He's
I
a
like
good
you.
boy.
I fetched you the thing with my money.
I mean, that is generally how you fetch things. You acquire them with currency.
And yeah, for anybody who was thinking that Shigure is living on his own off of the Soma fortune, nope, that is his money.
He's a novelist.
He is
Of
enough.
both varieties.
Yep.
I wrote this one for fun.
Which is funny because for anybody who watches One Punch Man, our next show, where he began, I'm a hero for fun, Shumide, so on and so forth. It's the same grammatical structure that I'm just a guy who's a novelist for fun.
I just like that Goth Girl spends the rest of the evening reading the smut mag.
Right.
Like, doesn't care about the actual, real writing that he's done. It's, let's see what kind of trash he writes.
Yeah.
Just spends the rest of the evening with it.
I mean, not that I would know, but I would assume that having access to someone's smut collection gives you a very deep look into their soul.
Check that Google history, yo. Or don't. Or ask. Communication is good, people.
Definitely ask. Yeah, communication is definitely key, as we see in this series. Oh yeah, and we got to meet a couple of new people. We got to meet Momiji the rabbit, who is all kinds of he's a character who exists.
Agent of Chaos Jelly Bean.
Yep, pretty much. He is half German, half Japanese, because that is an oddly specific trope that keeps happening in anime.
He's a Nazi baby.
And we get to see Hattori, who is the Soma's eraser. Not that kind of eraser. The Hippocratic Oath is a thing, but he is definitely the one who suppresses memories. So Yuki, understandably, does not want Toru anywhere near him because he doesn't want her losing her memories. And then guess what happens? He gives her a phone call and a summons and an instruction to tell no one.
Yuki, who spent the better part of the episode in a dress because the female seniors forced him to. Can we talk about how fucked that up that is?
Yep, and he just fucking does it. Which, I mean, hey, props to Yuki for basically coming out and saying, yeah, I'm secure enough in my masculinity that I'll wear this stupid thing. It's no big deal. But yeah, that is super fucked up that they basically... I mean,
bullied him into wearing a dress.
Yeah, this is everything I stand against happening to female characters. And it happened to him.
It's not cool either way you slice it, but at least it was only half the episode.
Yeah, it's only half the episode, and
He did make it work in his favor by actually managing to somehow turn it into a compliment for Toru.
Yeah, that was great, watching her brain completely blue screen there.
Toru.exe stopped working.
Pretty much. I did love his ability, and that's the thing is, like, it absolutely sucks that he was made to do that, and it is not okay that they made him do that. Don't do that to people, no matter their gender. Do not force them into something they do not want to wear for your own amusement. But the fact that he is secure enough as a man to wear a pink frilly dress and Mary Jane shoes and not be bothered too much about it other than that you don't like the dress. And two, to be willing to use himself as a distraction for his family to keep the secret from getting out. Also, knowing people well enough to know exactly what buttons to push to get that reaction was pretty great. And we get to see a little more personality from him. Because as we've seen over the past few episodes, he really doesn't want to be an Ice King. He just doesn't know how to be anything else.
That's what happens when you don't let someone socialize.
Yep.
They don't know how.
And we're starting to see that shell crack a little bit, and that part of it was good, at least. And yeah, so moving on to... Is there anything else that we have other than this one?
No, I mean... That's pretty much everything, and there's little tiny things that were missed out, like the quarter explanation of what the Fruits Basket game actually was and where the manga draws its name from, but
Yeah, there's so because that was explained. I think they actually explained in a sidebar in the manga, like the actual rules to the game, where everybody is assigned a fruit, and then they have to call the fruit, and they run across the room or something.
it's like Red Rover basically.
Yeah, and the kids picking on Toru gave her the nickname Onigiri and never called it. Which, as the kid who always was picked last in school, that cut right to the bone.
Yeah. We know that feel. Because, yeah, it was touched on at the end of the previous episode when she was going home with her boys that, oh, hey, they finally called the rice ball.
Yep.
Or the jelly donut.
No.
Do you have something against Brock's delicious jelly donuts? They may be triangular shaped, but they're the best jelly donuts around.
Sure, if jelly donuts are made out of rice and mochi.
Jelly donuts. That would have been a very good Ryan Reynolds joke for Detective Pikachu, actually.
That really would have been. That would have been great.
Hold on, Onigiri. Want a donut?
As if people think that American kids can't handle asking what a rice ball is.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, good stuff. Even better stuff coming up. And yeah, moving on to One Punch Man. I love Kinzoku Bat.
He's a good boy.
I wish they would stop literally translating the hero names when their Japanese names are actually shown on placards on screen. That's a bit disorienting. Like in the opening, you get Team Fubuki, and then in the actual anime, they talk about Lady Blizzard or whatever.
Hellish Blizzard.
Hellish Blizzard. Yeah, like just fucking call her Fubuki. It's fine. But yeah, Kinzoku Bat is awesome. After seeing so many of the AS class heroes played for jokes and seeing them be kind of butt monkeys, it was really nice to see a high-ranking hero who is both A, genuinely devoted to hero work, and B, real goddamn good at it. Also, gotta love that. Gotta love that rebel look with his pompadour and his big wide trousers.
Yep. Got that bancho look going on. All that was missing was the hat. Maybe the sprig.
The big old banner.
Yeah. It was so good.
Still no powers yet, says CJ, unless you count Bat God as a power. His fighting spirit was very Zenkai boost-ish.
It pretty much. I mean, the fact that he pretty much just refused to go down,
And
just sheer force of will.
And the fact that Garo could actually sense his power level rising as he took more of a beating, like it might not be a god tier superpower, but when I was watching it, it honestly made me suspect that he's got a little something something going on other than sheer physical strength. Like, yeah, it's probably a low level quirk, but it served him extremely fucking well.
And he's also a good guy.
He really is.
Like, here are these excuses for human beings.
Absolute shit stains.
Don't put your plate back on the conveyor belt. They need to tally it up.
It's rude to not return your plate. Quit returning the fucking plate.
I swear to God, if they return one more fucking plate, I'm killing them both. And then his little sister calls.
That was so cute.
And chews him out for working when he promised he'd take her shopping.
I totally thought she was like a teenager during this part of the show. And then as we see later, nope.
She's small. And probably much more powerful than he is.
Given that she knocked him out, I would say so. Um, but yeah, even though he is pissed at having to be there, not enjoying having to be guard duty while they get sushi when he could be fighting monsters, he still goes all out to protect them. Because that's what a hero does. A hero protects people. He still puts their safety first when the two other heroes show up to back him up. His first response is take these two and get out of here.
Yeah. That's some radiant behavior right there.
Yep. And we get the hierarchy of centipedes going on here. Senti Kohai, Senti Senpai, and Senti
Choro.
Choro, which I'm guessing is boss. And yeah, shit's not going okay because suddenly there's a threat level dragon, and holy shit, the animation of that centipede was so fucking cool. Like, it did look like a dragon spiraling over the city, except it's a giant centipede with a weird ass face.
Several, actually.
Yeah, but the one face was super cool looking because it kind of looked like an Ava unit on a centipede, and then it had like the weird wrinkly old guy face that was kind of like a raisin.
Yeah.
But apparently it's weak point.
Well, I mean, everything else is armor plated.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you know, all you sci-fi and fantasy authors out there, exoskeletons don't work on that scale.
Clearly it's just being powered by magic. Or maybe its quirk is supporting itself.
It's a possibility, but yeah. For anyone who's ever seen a movie or read a book or anything of that nature that featured giant bugs, don't worry, exoskeletons can't support something that size. An ant the size of a building would die because it would crush its own internal organs with the weight of its exoskeleton. So it's going to be okay.
Didn't we used to have like giant ass bugs back when conditions on Earth were different?
Yes, because the atmospheric conditions were different.
Yeah, because there was more oxygen or something.
Something like that. But yeah, thankfully, we screwed that up. We'll never have to worry about giant insects again.
I think that changed long before we were even
Well, yeah.
around.
I can't make the joke otherwise.
Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, we get to see some other heroes kicking ass and Garo still being Garo, befriending that little kid.
I really... Something's got to be going on with him and little kids.
Yeah, because he fucking stops when Kinzokubat's sister shows up.
Yep, he could have easily just smacked her into pieces
Destroyed both of them.
to finish off Kinzokubat, and he doesn't. This little kid, he could easily take the book from him, but he doesn't. He just comes to the park to chill out with him. They read the book together, goes about his business. And this guy who, you know, calls himself a monster wants to be the biggest, baddest monster out there. You know, not totally 300% irredeemable.
Yeah, I mean, he remembers being that little kid who was super into monsters. And he might, in a way, still be that little kid. Because you do see some childlike traits from him. You know, his lack of patience with, okay, I'm done with this now. I'm leaving, bye.
Yeah, that's a possibility. It makes him a very interesting antagonist.
Mm-hmm. And there are certain circumstances in which people stop developing emotionally and socially. You know, you see that with trauma victims, with people who have, you know, substance problems. You kind of get frozen in time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe something happened to freeze his psychosocial development at a child level.
That's a possibility. It'll be interesting to see where they take it.
For sure. And I hope they do something with it because so far I'm not sold on him as a villain. Like, yeah, it's cool that he's powerful and stuff, and I did like him. I did like watching him get his ass like tangentially beat by Saitama just from being around there. Like,
Chunk.
that was fantastic. But yeah, like so far he hasn't really been compelling as a villain, and that's starting to change a little bit with the flashback of him as a little kid and the thing of him not wanting to hurt little kids. But this guy is the strongest ever so far has not been selling me because that's Saitama's shtick. He pulls that off much better than anyone else.
Yeah, because he doesn't give a shit about it.
Exactly. And speaking of Saitama,
He totally wouldn't steal your identity and enter the fighting competition. He's an upstanding person.
oh,
Wig.
Moomin Rider. I'm waiting for that wig to go flying off, by the way.
It's going to at some point. It's not very well adhered. He didn't pay a whole lot of money for it, so
No, and he didn't buy any spirit gum or anything. Like, come on, at least stick it on.
I mean, especially with as smooth as his head is,
Exactly.
there is nothing there for that thing to grab onto via friction.
Exactly. So yeah, that's gonna go flying at some point. Thankfully, Charanko's former senpai is a moron,
Sour face.
and boy is his face ever sour.
Yeah. Real interesting cast of characters introduced in the second episode with this this martial arts tournament, Super Fight 22, going on,
Yeah.
and hinted that Garo snuck into the competition last year and beat everyone up.
While wearing a wolf head.
Only the other guy was, so you know, who better to impersonate than the masked character?
Yeah. And yeah, we get some real, like you said, interesting people. We get a couple of heroes. We get not Duo Maxwell.
Yeah. Suirian?
Suiryu.
Suiryu? Yeah. Not Duo Maxwell with his star buttons and...
And of course the girl fighter goes out first. I'm looking at you, shonen tropes.
Yeah.
That wasn't great. I do like the one guy talking shit about Saitama and then just getting bitch slapped.
Yeah. Not even one punch. One bitch slap. And this discount sort of Zeon Shar wannabe. He was gonna propose to his girlfriend after he won his first fight. Oh wait, it turns out his girlfriend didn't even show up. Safe.
Poor guy.
Right. Wonder if he's part of Rakdos.
But yeah, this tournament's gonna go south at some point, probably because of the hordes of monsters that are rampaging everywhere.
Yeah, they're acting real organized for some reason.
Yeah, it's almost like they've got an association or something.
A villain association? No, that's ridiculous.
And yet here we are. By the way, some of those monster designs are real fucking cool. Like that geisha looking girl with the Raijin array behind her with the starburst Kanzashi, that was so cool.
She was real neat.
And
Stun Baton Roller Skate Boy didn't stand a fucking chance.
no, he did not, because the monsters are getting smarter now. They're not just rampaging, they're actually strategizing. And
Yeah.
paying attention to power set matchups. And it's not going so well for the heroes.
No, it's really not. People are kind of going down left and right. Being taken out strategically.
Which means probably in the next few episodes, we're going to be getting the sequence that happens in the opening of Saitama just punching a fuck ton of monsters.
Like you do.
It's interesting seeing the difference in the approach taken to unusual heroes because you have One Punch Man where a lot of the heroes are just plain stupid. And I don't feel bad saying that because that is 100% intentional. Because the whole Hero Association is basically a satire of superhero stories.
Hmm.
But then you have, My Hero Academia, where one of the coolest characters is Best Jeanist.
What's your power? I can manipulate fabric. That doesn't sound. Oh God.
Or Gang Orca, my powers are whale.
All the powers inherent of whale.
So it's interesting where you see, the stupid and outlandish and useless in One Punch Man and what you would think is stupid and outlandish in My Hero actually being the coolest.
Yeah, like the one guy they showed very briefly during One Punch Man, just carrying around a giant fucking kendama. The fuck are you gonna do with that, kid? And they've also, it's been kind of somewhat subtle in the background, but there's been a very interesting nuanced bit of information that's trickled out over the first season and now the second season. A lot of these monsters wind up saying the same thing. When I was human, ... and then they get absolutely obliterated. So the vast majority of these things that, are being classified as monsters were at one point in time people.
Yep.
In season 1, we have Crablante. I ate too much seafood and I turned into this. In the first episode of season 2, we had the lizard guy. My love of reptiles turned me into this.
The guy they were fighting in one of the most recent episodes, my anger and rage turned me into a monster.
So most of these were people. So it really makes you wonder where the line is actually drawn between hero and monster.
Motivation, maybe?
Motivation, yeah, mindset. Because that's the thing is Garo wants to be the monster. He wants to be the greatest monster of all time. And he's still human despite how powerful he is.
Mm-hmm. And then you have... Sorry, go ahead.
You have his former master, Bong, fighting a four-armed demon boxer thing. I have to stop Garo before he becomes this. It's like at what point is he going to transform into an actual monster, if it happens at all?
Mm-hmm. And then you have Saitama, who just wanted to be a hero for fun, and his powers are pretty monstrous. I wonder if it comes down to a purity thing. Purity of heart, purity of intention.
Maybe.
Because Saitama doesn't give a shit about any of the politicking bullshit that goes on with the hero organization. He just wants to have fun and save people.
And maybe get paid for it.
That'd be nice. Also, some of them might still be people because the one bird guy who offered monster
Totally
association...
stuck a hand from out of a costume.
Yeah, that was absolutely a human hand that popped out of those feathers.
And his beak didn't line up with what he was saying.
Yeah, his beak just kind of opened and words came out.
Oh my god, it's Evil Big Bird.
Pretty much. It's probably just some dude in a costume that can fly.
Yeah. Well, stranger things happen in this show. But yeah, so far, even with the change in studios, haven't really noticed, a drop in the quality of the series. Like, some things are animated differently, but it's still a good show.
Yeah.
Which makes me happy.
Indeed. Still not sold on the opening, though.
The opening's fine once it gets to that second half.
Yeah, but for half of an opening to, nah.
And especially from Jam Project. Jam Project should know better. They're goddamn Jam Project. It's in the name. Jam. Half of that song is not a jam.
Yeah. The rest of it is.
Yep. Oh.
So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens here.
Indeed. We'll see what happens. So yeah, that brings us down to the bottom rung.
Indeed. Senko the Helpful Fox. So we decided to try this out on CJ's recommendation. Thinking, oh, it's like Dragon Maid. Okay, cool. Let's try it out. Um, it's a show that exists. Starts out pretty cute. Poor overworked salary man has to put up with a bunch of bullshit from his job and keeps getting weighed down by negativity. And Fox Goddess decides to come help him out a little bit. Shows up at his house, starts making him dinner.
Uninvited.
Uninvited.
Let herself in. Because, hey, trespassing is apparently okay when you're a god.
I mean, they live by different rules. And the show kind of goes on in that vein. Her helping him out, making him dinner, running baths, cleaning the house, doing all of that stuff.
Yeah, I want to like this show because the base concept is dumb, fluffy, ridiculous fun. It, pitches itself as being, very lighthearted, whimsical, filling that kind of Dragon Maid niche without quite hitting you as quickly or as easily with the Dragon Maid level feels. Which, by the way, second season, please. Yes, when? Now. Thank you. But some of the stuff this show does just winds up hitting a real sour note with me.
Yeah, the part that really got to me were the parts where he's touching her tail or her ears. And he asks, and she says yes, but she clearly doesn't want to say yes. And she pretty clearly doesn't enjoy him doing it. And the implications there are a little unpleasant, even though she's 900 years old. Or I think it was 900.
And that's the other thing that makes me a little uncomfortable with the series is in the first couple of episodes, the amount of focus of him internal monologuing. It's okay, she's 1,000 years old. It's okay, she's 1,000 years old. Like he's almost trying to rationalize an attraction to a very clearly underage in shape and build level and maturity because he knows she's a 100-couple-year-old fox god or whatever. And it reminds me of the guy from one of the Bayverse Transformers movies, whichever was it, Last Night? Yeah, Last Night. The guy who carries around the card about the Romeo and Juliet laws. It's like, if you need to carry around something like that, if you need to, sit there and repeat to yourself in your head, it's okay because she's legal, it's okay because she's legal, it's okay because she's legal, there's something kind of skeevy going on there, and it really doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, and like parts of this show are cute, but There's not a whole lot of momentum, I guess. Like, even though, like, Dragon Maid, yeah, it was just a cute, comfy show, like, stuff still happened. And this, so far, we're just kind of repeating, the same domestic fantasy, basically, which I would,
Just enjoy the pampering. Just enjoy the pampering. Just enjoy the pampering.
which I would be more okay with if it weren't for things like the tailgasm and her climbing into bed with him.
And the thing that really, really kind of rustles my jimmies the most is the post credit stuff. The sort of almost instructional level video, like the kinds you'd find on certain video sharing websites on the internet. It just, when something makes me consider whether or not I should be watching it in front of other people, it's not really something I enjoy watching at that point.
Yeah, well, it's the first person thing to so you can put yourself in that spot and have the fantasy of being cared for by a small fox child is what that is. You're supposed to be able to put yourself in his place and have her doting on you.
And it's like, I don't really need that. I'm sorry. It strikes all of the wrong chords.
And CJ bringing up Toru forcing herself on Kobayashi, they're both portrayed clearly as adults. Toru enjoys being affectionate with Kobayashi, and Kobayashi, while she gets exasperated with Toru's attempts, she understands this is Toru attempting to show affection to me and tries to direct those attempts to other things. Maybe try doing this, or okay, I'll hold your hand. It is very different from I don't want you to touch me, but I'll let you touch me anyway.
Yeah, that was the thing with Toru and Kobayashi, was like the repeated gag with the tail meat. Toru kept trying to get her to eat the tail meat. She did not want to eat the tail meat. She eased off on trying to get to eat the tail meat, but still, I would really be okay if you ate the tail meat. It's fine, really. And
also, Kobayashi says no, Toru makes her something else. She's disappointed, but she makes something else.
And there's a thought here, and it's not wanting to emerge. Yeah, you get a lot of that sort of dubiousness with both of them is the thing. And again, with Dragon Maid, where it got to bothering me was with Luca and her human. Maybe don't continue shoving your tits at the underage boy. Just saying.
But yeah, this show in particular, this I feel like I'm watching something that was not made for me. This show was made for lonely Japanese salarymen slash neets who could be salarymen if they left the house.
Yeah, because while Dragon Maid was by no means flawless and innocent in its execution of some things, it still put a good level of balance between the less desirable moments and putting forward a good developing story, even across, the first couple of episodes, where as, 3 episodes into Senko, and it's like, I really don't want to watch this.
Yeah, parts of it made me uncomfortable.
When there were good, cute parts, there were fine, but there wasn't enough there to balance the scale, to make it feel like they were going to be able to handle the material well going forward, like there was going to be actual development. And so, yeah, it just gave it the 3 episode try, and just it's not clicking. And I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there who think it's the best thing ever, and by all means, if you're enjoying it, if it doesn't bother you, enjoy it. It's just not for us.
Yeah. You know what's clicking for us, though? Quick side note before we wrap up. Holy fuck, Shield Heroes getting twisty.
Real good. Real good. And that's coming from someone who generally does not like isekais.
Yeah. Definitely wish we'd been talking about it on the show from the beginning, but I'm enjoying it very thoroughly. And we've still got a few episodes to go, so we'll have to see what happens there. Hopefully we'll get a second season of it too.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, no, that's fine. We can definitely agree to disagree. If you aren't seeing any problem with it and it doesn't bother you, then by all means enjoy the hell out of it. If it's a happy, fluffy, fun time show for you, I absolutely want to keep it that way for you. But I can't continue watching the series and having problems with it and not have that emerge in the show. And we're trying to be generally positive here. Outside of the outliers like, Grand Crest, which shat the bed, or Junie Tyson, which was just overall terrible, I don't want to constantly have this is the show this season that we shit on in this show.
Yeah.
I'd rather cover things that we genuinely want to recommend to people to enjoy, because while it's fun to occasionally watch some garbage, like things that just genuinely aren't good, like The Room, I don't want to put forth a recommendation for anything that is potentially triggering, or so if we can't give a good, hey, go watch this to a show, not really going to keep going on or force myself to give a positive review of it. I give my honest opinion on things. My honest opinion is this show is not for me. If it's for you, great. Ignore every bad thing I've said about it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the things that make you happy. This does not make me happy. So, for me at least, this is the last episode I'm going to be talking about it on.
Yeah.
If we find another show to fill this 4th slot going forward, that's fine. If we just talk about these remaining 3 shows this season, okay, we'll talk about 3 shows.
Yeah, because we can talk about all 3 of those pretty in depth. I would be okay with talking about Shield Hero a little bit more going forward. CJ mentioned being able to binge some of it. Yeah, the first few episodes are pretty rough. We almost stopped watching it the first couple episodes, but I'm really glad we stuck with it. And the thing I like about it is it does handle some darker story elements without being DC dark and gritty.
Yeah.
And you still got your moments of levity, like Philo kicking Motoyasu in the balls several times.
So good.
So good. We're getting Raul caught up on it as well, so that's always fun. And another quick aside from the pre-show, go see the Pikachu movie if you haven't already. It is actually good.
Legitimately good.
I actively hated the premise of this movie when it was first announced. I thought it was stupid that it was a thing that exists. I thought it was going to be terrible. I am glad I was wrong.
Extremely wrong. A lot of love and care and dedication to the source material.
Yeah,
went into this movie.
we all, I'm sure, as anybody who's played the Pokemon games and likes escaping into fantasy worlds in the form of D&D, books, media, what have you, has done and imagined what it would be like to live in a Pokemon world. If you want to see that in live action, the Pikachu movie is for you.
So yeah, I think that's gonna about do it for this episode. Thanks you guys for listening. If you want to reach out to us about a show that you think we should be watching, you can always hit us up at show@geek-io.net. You can reach out to us on the social medias at /geekio show. You can call us on the Geek Hotline, 727-489-4335, 727-489-5-GEEK. And again, you can support this stream and everything we do at geek-io.net /Patreon or patreon.com/geekio, whichever way you feel like typing it, it'll get you there regardless. And that would give you another avenue to access us at, because you can leave messages there. Patreon connects to the Discord, which Discord, bang Discord, add Discord, something or other. I'm very tired. Thank you. Appreciated. You can talk to us there, leave comments, suggestions, your opinions on the things we covered, whether you agree or disagree. We are all about discourse and actual conversation here. The only bad opinion is saying that someone else's opinion doesn't matter or is invalid. You can agree to disagree. You can disagree with someone's opinion. You could agree with someone's opinion. Just don't try to tell them that their opinion is invalid, that it's wrong, that it's something that shouldn't exist out there, because everybody's different. We all live different lives. We all see things differently. And let's be adults and talk about it instead of getting angry. There is far too much anger in the world. Let's put some love out there instead. So for myself, for Carrie, for Justin, who unfortunately was a little under the weather tonight and couldn't make it, for our man in the chair there, CJ, for our former man in the chair, Raul, for everyone at the network, we love you guys. Be good to each other. Enjoy the things that make you happy.
Bye-bye.
And we'll catch you next time. Oyasumi nasai.
You have been listening to a Geek.io Media Network LLC production. Would you like to convert that to pounds? Copyright 2019.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
All right.
And show titles.
Yes, indeed. We have.
A lot, actually.
It's amazing what happens when I sit and chat and type things. Demonically Delicious. Basuske. Better Than Clowns. Yay, Color Theory. Baby in the Box in the Corner with the Bunny. No Resistance +1. Watch Out for Falling Boulders. Uro Kodaki's Death Mountain. I wanted to say it. Grindy McTeethface, because Japan, why not? Straight Out of Boxton. Box Sister Action. Pacifu? Wow. Bamboo Pacifier. I swear to God, I've only had one can of cider. Stick Figure Shoryuken. Strange Things, These Human Emotions. Japanese Kool-Aid Man. Fantasy, Yo. Lesbian Mom, Dueo. Anime Blonde. Rich Man Payoff. Fetch Things with Money. Chaos Jellybean, Ice King, Hierarchy of Centipedes, Power of Whale. I like Power
I
of
love
Whale.
I love that all of the little artworks from the manga are coming back into the anime. Also, holy shit, I saw an Imgur album comparing the old anime and the new anime, and good God, the old anime was terrible.
90s, yo.
Of what? Of Fruits Basket?
Yes, like,
Yeah.
because what I remember of the manga is like the last few volumes where her art style had completely refined itself at that point, and it's very close to what we're getting now in the anime.
Nice.
And then you see like episode 1 of the original anime Toru, and her eyes are like looking in two different directions, and I'm pretty sure my art is better than that.
Whoop.
Pretty much. Oh, I unabashedly love that show though. I'm glad that Josh is tolerating it because I really wanted to watch it.
As long as the two best characters are somewhere in the vicinity of the show, it's not awful.
Did the show go into their backstories at all?
All right.
The fir-
Sorry, I went through the place that I wasn't supposed to go through.
Did the original anime go through their backstories at all?
I don't know.
I didn't get all the way through the
So
first.
much.
I didn't get through the first part of the first anime. I got through a few episodes of it, but that's before I could appreciate shoujo bullshit. Because I was an
Yeah.
angsty teenager.
It is striking me this time around though just how tsundere Kyo really is.
So tsundere.
It's like, holy shit, he has been head over heels from the beginning. So far, we've got Power of Whale and Stick Figure Shoryuken at the top.
Yeah, I think Power of Whale took it.
Yeah.
Good old Power of Whale.
Spending a lot of money on a free-to-play RPG? That Power of Whale?
I mean, not wrong.
So this was the scariest show that I've ever done.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Giving up total creative control. I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
I like you guys. Thanks, I hate it. Just weird. Weird being totally in the chair and totally silent. Especially with
Yeah.
opinions.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah, it's definitely doubly experience when you're the person who talks on everything.
Well, yeah, because you're probably sitting there. I have opinions.
Well, I'm typing them in the chat at least. I'm trying to, anybody who happens to hop in chat, this is the main reason why I kept typing things in there.
I have things to say.
You guys
Are
are
we
seeing
still-
a weird. We are still live. You guys are seeing a weird darkness in Senko.
I mean, like I said, I call things the way I see them, and that's what's sticking out to me. I mean, and it's not even like, Fruits
Uh-oh.
Basket where I was going in happy, show about an adorable fox god. Okay, don't twist my arm. That sounds like a thing I would very much what's going on here? So yeah, it's not even like, personal bias was getting in the way or something like that, like I was anticipating with Fruits Basket. It's not sitting well with me for some reason, and well, I mean, for the reasons I've mentioned, and that's just the way it is.
Like I said, definitely the what we figured out as sweet loving things from Dragon Maid certainly were not in the first 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes amounted to drunken consent given, trying to take away, person who consent was given to refusing to listen. And certainly more than one little cutscene of the entire show.
Yeah.
Because that's what at least the first 2 episodes were pretty much entirely about. All right, I'm gonna go to bed.
Night, CJ. Sleep well.
Post show. So fuck your long
Enjoy
post show.